Greetings, YouTube. With an impressive second place showing at the Ames straw poll, where he missed first by a scant 152 votes and garnered nearly 28% of the 16,800 votes cast, Dr. Ron Paul has served notice to the GOP establishment that he has the grassroots support and organizing capability to be a legitimate contender for the 2012 GOP nomination. Now, I'm aware that if you're watching this, you're likely a Ron Paul supporter, but I wanted to touch on a couple of things as the campaign moves forward and highlight some distinctions in the candidacy of Dr. Paul versus the rest of the GOP field for folks watching who are not Ron Paul supporters currently. What the Iowa debate established for certain is that Ron Paul is the only anti-war candidate running in 2012. Now, if you happen to be a Democrat or an independent and hate these wars, let's recall President Barack Obama's campaign promises regarding the wars. If we have not ended the wars by the time I'm the president, that is the first thing I will do. I will end the wars in Iraq and I will bring our troops home. You can take that to the bank. Obviously, that's a campaign promise that President Obama did not keep. Ron Paul's promise to end the wars and bring the troops home is a promise you can count on. Why? Well, as he has stated in too many interviews to count, the biggest and most immediate impact Ron Paul could have as president would be to end the wars and end the militarism. Ron Paul bring the troops home, period. Will Barack Obama? No. Will Rick Perry? Will Mitt Romney? Will Michelle Bachmann? Absolutely not. They're not even talking about it. The only thing they are talking about, in fact, is preemptive action to prevent Iran from getting a hold of a nuclear weapon so it doesn't destroy Israel. One nuclear bomb in Iran and 330 nuclear weapons in Israel. I don't see the contest, but at any rate, for Ron Paul supporters, I believe this is a crucial point to discuss when campaigning for Dr. Paul in your meetup groups, when you're going door to door, when you're talking to people on the street, folks you meet, like we do, when we wear our Ron Paul gear and people ask, or when we hand out Slim Jims. Bring this point home, that Ron Paul is the only anti-war candidate running. And be sure to mention that by ending the wars, we'd save approximately $2.5 billion a week in federal spending. Some folks might like that too. Another side note for folks watching who are not currently Paul supporters, you might ask yourself why, no matter what the current issue or news clip is, both the left-leaning media at CNN, MSNBC, and so on and so forth, and the right-wing juggernaut Fox always marginalize or malign Dr. Paul. Why? They try and paint him as a kook or as insignificant? Why? What for? Let me theorize for a moment. CNN, Fox, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, name it, they're corporate owned. Okay, they're corporately owned, and in addition to pushing out the news, they're anchors who are people that you trust and that look trustworthy and all that. They're out there to promote an agenda, all right, or to prevent things from being put out that could be damaging to their parent companies, or provide spin on something to prevent, like I said, the negative perception of something coming out about their corporate parents, all right. Ron Paul is the anti-corporatist. He talks about, when people blame capitalism for what's going on, and when people blame the free market, he tries to tell people it's not the free market's fault. This has nothing to do. What's going on in our country is not capitalism. It is not a free market. It's corporatism, where the banks and the corporations get to, largely make national policy due to their influence in Washington. And he wants to end that. He's talked about that. All right, so they recognize this, that Ron Paul represents a potential end to the corporate welfare gravy train. I want you to ponder something for just a moment. Imagine an America where the President of the United States actually upheld his oath to protect and defend the Constitution and preserve our liberties instead of working for the corporations and the banks. What would America look like then? I'd like to know. And that's why I'm supporting Ron Paul in 2012, just like I did in 2008. And you should support Dr. Paul in 2012 too. For more, please visit http://thelibertyminute.com. Take care.